Welcome, ma'am.
I would like to call Director Lay the campus, Ma'am Konchuramole, to deliver the welcome address. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Lay. A warm greetings from Lay campus. I, on behalf of University of Ladakh, Lay campus, extend my warm welcome to Madam P.D. Nidya, Senior Superintendent, Lay IPS, as the chief guest on this occasion of International Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, organized by the Health and Family Welfare Department of Leh, UT Ladakh, at Leh campus, University of Ladakh. We feel happy to have you at our campus again, as we find you a very concerned and supportive in dealing with this danger of drug abuse in Ladakh, which is very inspiring for all of us, ma'am. We really feel privileged to have you as a chief guest of today's occasion. I also welcome Dr. Padma Ammo, psychiatrist at S&M Hospital Leh, who play a very key role in preventing the drug abuse amongst the youngsters through organizing the various activities. We are really proud to know you, Dr. Padma. Thank you very much.
Now, before calling the participants onto the stage, let me introduce the panel of juries. We are having SSP P.D. Nidya ma'am, Dr. Padma Mole, State Nodal Officer in MHP, and Ma'am Rinchen Lay, who will be the judge of today's contest and select the best of the best speakers. Please put your hands together for the first speaker from TT Department, Ms. Fatima Sarkar.
Respected jury and my teacher, my fellow mate, honorable guests, a very pleasant afternoon to one and all present here. I, Fatima Sarkar, student of MCTM first semester. Today I take this opportunity to present my view in favor of treatment of trafficking. To start with, I would like to give you all an idea what is drug addiction. Drug addiction, also known as substance use disorder, refer to the dangerous and excessive intake of legal and illegal drugs. These lead to many behavioral change in the person as well as affect brain functions. Drug addiction include abusing alcohol, cocaine, heroin, painkiller, and nicotine among them. Drugs like these help the person feel good about themselves. As they continue to use the drugs, the brain starts to increase the dopamine level and the person demands more. The most valuable part of the society is the drugs addiction. Is a severe problem faced in a majority of
उस कदर फंस गई अपनी जाल में, अपने घर ही बेच रहा है धोखे के व्यापार में। मैं तंदूर से कॉमर्स डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से ड्रग्स यानी नशे के बारे में अपना विचार प्रस्तुत करने जा रहा हूँ। ड्रग्स या नशा दो प्रकार के होते हैं, एक कानूनी ड्रग्स, दूसरा वाइगल ड्रग्स। कानूनी ड्रग्स में ये होते हैं पेनकिलर जैसे बहुत से अनेक ड्रग्स होते हैं। उसी तरह अवैध ड्रग्स में हमारे चरस, गांजा या जो भी सारे बहुत है। कोई भी व्यक्ति जो नशा करते हैं उनकी सुनने की क्षमता, देखने की क्षमता खत्म हो जाती है। ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 18 से लेके 20 वर्ष के नौजवान ज़्यादा आकर्षित होते हैं, क्योंकि उन्हें दुनियादारी का इतना समझ नहीं है, तो वो लोग ज़्यादा ही आकर्षित होते हैं। अगर हमारे भारत देश में देखा जाए तो कोई भी अवसर हो, चाहे वो शादी का अवसर हो या चाहे किसी जन्मदिन का अवसर हो, हर अवसर में नशा उपयोग किया जाता है। आज मैं यही कहना चाहूँगा कि कोई भी अवसर हो, नशा एक ऐसी चीज है जो आर्थिक और समाज के लिए बुरा है, आर्थिक और समाज के लिए बुरा है। तो इसलिए कोई भी अवसर हो, चाहे वो जन्मदिन का हो या शादी का अवसर हो, हमें नशा उपयोग नहीं करना चाहिए। हालांकि सरकार नशा मुक्त अभियान चलाते हैं, परंतु ये हम सभी की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि नशा मुक्त अभियान का अवेयरनेस चलाए, ताकि सभी कोई भी नशा कर रहे हो वो नशा करने से बंद हो जाए।
The next, I would like to request Padma Justi, please come on stage and share your views.
A very good afternoon to all of you, respected guests, director ma'am, faculty members, and all my dear friends. Today, I, Padma Justi, from the Department of Education, will share my viewpoint on the topic that is, should a drug addicted person be treated with treatment or punishment? So, I'm going to talk in favor of treatment rather than punishment. Why? Because, first of all, addiction is a disease. Addiction is a chronic and progressive brain disease because the National Institute on Drug Abuse, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration and the National Institute of Health, these organizations call addiction a disorder or a disease because addiction changes how the brain responds in situations involving reward, stress and self-control. Comparing substances addiction to heart disease may help illustrate why it is defined as a disease by so many. Both addiction and heart disease disturb the regular functioning of an organ in the body, the heart for heart disease and the brain for addiction.
The next, I would request Tundu Mahole, please.
Julie and good afternoon to all of you, respected Director Ma'am Panchokle, today's chief guest Ma'am Nitya, SSP, and Dr. Dr. Padma, State Nodal Officer, and distinguished guest. I, Tundu Mahole, on behalf of Department of Police Administration, would like to share my views on drugs abuse. Starting with the introduction, the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking fall on 26 June. Each year to raise awareness for the major problem that illicit drugs represent to society. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime has over the year been actively involved in launching campaigns to mobilize support for drug control. In December 1987, the United Nations General Assembly decided to observe 26 June as International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. The United Nations was determined to help create an international society free of drug abuse. Coming to Indian context, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare operates a drug de-addiction program by providing financial grants for the augmenting post-abuse treatment facilities in selected central government hospital and institution.
The next, Padma Chostra.
Good evening to all those present over here. So, like others, I am also going to share my views on should a drug addicted person be treated or punished. But I am going to be punished. This might sound strange or very unsympathetic or insensitive to you all, but still I am going to stand with the punishment. Because for me, punishment not only means penalties such as exile, banishment, or like punishment of fine, etc. For me, punishment is also treating someone without their own will or consent is also a form of punishment. When we treat someone with a de-addiction drug, the de-addiction drug has lots of side effects. So it adds to their misery and it's a punishment for them. From my own experience, I've seen that a person treated with de-addiction drug face lots of difficulties, such as for 2 or 3 days they were not able to wake up at all. They vomit and causes anxiety, sweating, restlessness. So, aren't these all a punishment for a person who is not willing to be treated or who is not ready to take a treatment?
I would like to request Shabaz Haider.
A very warm good afternoon to respected Director Ma'am, Dr. Padma, Honorable Guest SSP Ma'am, and teaching, non-teaching, and my dear fellow students. I am Shabaz Haider, 3rd semester from Department of Geology. एक्चुअली ये हम सबको पता है कि ड्रग क्या है, कैसे करते हैं, कौन करते हैं, कैसे इस केस में इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, सबने बताया भी और हम सबको पता भी है। तो मतलब अब प्रॉब्लम ये है कि फिर हम इस ड्रग से मतलब जो हमें अपने होते हैं उनको या सोसाइटी में होते हैं उनको बचाते क्यों नहीं है। मेन प्रॉब्लम होती है सबसे पहले जब एक माँ बाप या भाई बहन को जो हमारे एल्डर्स होते हैं, तो जब हम उनको पता चलता है वो शर्माते हैं। सबसे पहले वो सोचते हैं कि हमारे पड़ोसी, हमारे रिलेटिव्स को ये पता नहीं चलना चाहिए कि हमारा बेटा, हमारा भाई ड्रग एडिक्ट हुआ है। सबसे पहले ये हमारी सोच खत्म करनी चाहिए कि हमें अब ये प्रॉब्लम हुई है, अब ये इसका डिजीज बन चुका है, अब ये भी चाहता है कि मैं ये छोड़ दूं, लेकिन ये इसको छोड़ने नहीं देता। हमें इसको जो गवर्नमेंट सेंटर्स हैं, हमें उसको ये एडमिट करना चाहिए, वहां पे शर्मिंदगी तो एक साइड रख के इसकी जिंदगी हमें बचानी है, तो हमें इसको ट्रीटमेंट करवाना चाहिए। और सेकंड, जो भी माँ बाप हमारे माँ बाप हैं, हमारे बड़े हैं, जब भी वो हमें पैसे देते हैं तो हमें वो चाहते हैं कि जो हमने नहीं देखा, जो हमने नहीं किया वो।
Good afternoon to one and all present over here. Respected guests, Director Ma'am, faculty members, and all my dear friends. Today I, Said Vidal from B.Ed class, Department of Education, wants to share my views on should a drug addict person be treated with treatment or punishment. So I'm going to talk in favor of treating a drug addicted person with treatment rather than punishment. Drug addiction is a chronic brain disease. It causes a person to take drugs repeatedly, despite the harm they cause. Repeated drug use can change the brain and lead to addiction. Drug addiction is a severe problem faced in majority of young staff these days. A majority of people, especially those who commit crimes, are drug users but are not drug addicts. Someone who experiences a loss of self-control, overwhelming cravings, and overthinks about taking a specific drug or drugs as an addiction. Many factors tie together the reasons behind why people form addiction, such as.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Digital Spouses from the Department of Political Science. First of all, I would like to thank you, the organizer, for giving me the opportunity to be part of today's event. Today, I would like to talk on the issue of drug abuse and how it needs to be treated rather than punishment. Drugs are chemicals or substances that change the way of our bodies. Some are medicine that help people when doctors prescribe them. Many have no medical use. Drug comes from different sources. Plant-based, example, cannabis, mushrooms, opium, and tobacco. Processed plant-based, example, alcohol or heroin. Synthetic chemicals, example, ecstasy or amphetamines. It could be legal or illegal. Legal drugs include alcohol, caffeine, tobacco, etc. Illegal includes cocaine, LSD, mescaline, heroin, etc. So where does things go down south is when you abuse drug. Abuse of drug happens when you start using use of prescription in ways other than recommended. Abuse drugs to feel good, ease stress, or sometimes or many a times avoid realities.
Our chief guest for the day, Madam P.D. Nitya, SSP today, and Director Madam Kunjula, all the faculty, teachers from middle school Taru, and staffs of my department who have accompanied me there, helped us organize this program, and all the students, and the very smart set of students who spoke today. I feel very happy that to be here and to be able to talk about a topic that is so important, and most important thing is the audience today that I have. The topic is very relevant to all of you. So I hope that after today's session, most of the youngsters or the students, they would have a fair idea about substance use disorder. It is a problem, it's a burning problem that's affecting the whole world in general and Ladakh in particular. So I do not believe in having lectures. I enjoy having interactive sessions and 26th, like most of the speakers already said, 26th of June is observed as International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. And this year, the theme that has been kept is addressing drug challenges in health and humanitarian crisis. Well, this theme is very relevant, especially when we are actually coming out of a crisis situation, and it hasn't come down altogether. Even now, the crisis of the pandemic that we all lived through. And if I share my experience, I joined here as a psychiatrist in Ladakh in 2018. Opioids के बारे में किसको पता है? Brown sugar सुना है? ये तो सुना तो होगा, है ना? All of you have heard about heroin, smack, medicines जो बोलते हैं painkillers use होते हैं, ठीक है? Then IV inject करते हैं जो IV drug users होते हैं. So जो poppy plant एक होता है, हम सबको पता है यहाँ पे उगता है, मतलब बड़ा स्पोरेडिकली लोग लगाते हैं because it's very pretty the flower. उसका डेरिवेटिव होता है उस प्लांट का, और and then उसके derivatives कुछ हैं, and then besides that, because opioid derivatives are very good painkillers, it is used as medicine. बहुत सारे बच्चों ने बोला कि प्रिस्क्रिप्शन मेडिसिन का आजकल डिपेंडेंस ज़्यादा हो रहा है. सो दैट इज फैक्ट विच इज रेलेवेंट टू लद्दाख एज वेल. जब मैं बोल रही थी कि ओपियोइड के केसेस देयर हैज बीन अ इंक्रीज, वी आर सीइंग लॉट ऑफ किड्स abusing these painkillers and eventually becoming dependent on these pharmaceutical medicines. So these are all the opioid products. Ladakh में बच्चे, I was really surprised. I went to one of the middle schools, and then there I interacted with the kids, and then they already have kept Ladakhi names for all these substances. Karpo le, marpo le, powder le. So these were opioids. ठीक है, shamar, chato, ये सब चीजें, these are the nicknames or the Ladakhi street names for cannabis. What was most disturbing was the kids, 6th, 8th, 9th के बच्चे, 6th, 8th तक के बच्चों को सब ये सब nicknames पता था, and there were 10 teachers, they had no clue what the kids were talking about. It was very disturbing. पता ही नहीं, मतलब teachers ना females को चलो फिर भी मुझे लगा नहीं पता होगा, even the male teachers, they had no idea what the kids were talking about. So that is the level.
To facilitate the prize of position holder, I would call our chief guest, Senior Superintendent of Police, PD Nitya, to distribute the award of the position holder. Now the first position goes to the Agent Sponsors Department, Political Science. Congratulations, Agent Sponsors. The talented person that has gotten second position. So the second person goes to Padma Chuski, Department Education. Position holder from the participants, I request you to please give a hand together for that position. And this will be one more. Police Administration. I would like to call the other students on stage who have shared the ideas. Can we have a big hand?